Hello friends, so this is a video which covers the topics like sort, filters, advanced filters, conditional formatting. There are some formulas that also can be used in conditional formatting, so what we call it as advanced conditional formatting. We will cover such kind of topics, and also we'll see the concept of free spans and split screens, which is used a lot while working in day-to-day activities. So this video is going to be very interesting and very helpful for everyone. So I request you to watch it carefully, completely, without skipping any part. That I have is sort. Now here we'll see a simple sort, and then we'll get into complex sorts or advanced sorts. So basically, if you see the data, you'll find that it is sorted based on order ID. Okay. Now, if you so of course, order ID is like lowest order number to largest order number. Now, if I say I want to sort it based on unit price, the lowest price I want at top, and the largest price, of course, it will be coming at bottom. So how could I sort data based on unit price? So very simple in Excel, you just have to click on header of the respective column, and then click on go to data tab. In data tab, you will find Z to A, that is for descending, A to Z for ascending. So if I say I want to get the values like lowest to largest, meaning it should be ascending order. So I'll click A to Z, and you see that data got sorted based on unit price. Okay. If I click on Z to A, it will be in descending order. Okay. Now again, if I say I want to sort it on order ID, because just now we have sorted on unit price. So if I want to reverse it, if I want to make it on order ID again, click on the respective header I said, and A to Z, which is ascending. So lowest to largest order ID will accordingly data will be sorted. Okay. Now you may sort data on multiple columns also in Excel. So for example, if I say I want to first sort my data based on regions. Okay, so east, west, north, south, the four regions we have, right? So according to regions, I want to sort my data first. Okay, so I could say I want to group the data based on like first it should be east data, it should be shown, then maybe later below that north, then south, and then finally west, that way. And then in respective regions, further I want to divide data based on cities. Whatever. So when I say sorting on cities, the city where the letter begins with A or B, initially it should come on top, and then followed by other letters, right? So Boston should come on top, and then maybe New York, and this Los Angeles and all will go at bottom. So let's see how to sort data based on multiple fields. So to do that, what we have is you need to click on data, and then we have a little bit bigger button here, sort. So you see here there are multiple fields. So this is called custom sort. I could say advanced sort. If I click on this sort, by default at the moment my data is sorted on order ID. I don't want to sort on order ID. First I want to sort it on region, I said. So here you need to click on region. So here it will populate all the columns of your data. So sort on region I'm selecting, and then sort on what values, and then A to Z or Z to A, ascending or descending, that you can select here. So I said I want to sort it on ascending order. Okay. So once it is sorted on region field, what's next? It should be sorting based on city, I said. So there's an option here, add label. And moment you click on add label, it says then by what. So first it will sort on region, and then by what. So in this case, I'll select then by city. And further here again, you can select ascending or descending order for that particular column. Okay, so within the respective regions, data will be further sorted based on cities. Let's see how it works. If I click on OK, you'll see that initially data got sorted on regions, and then further on cities. See, Boston, and then below Boston, you'll be having next alphabet, which will be, New York, I said. So this way. This is called custom sort. Rather, custom sort, I can call it as multi-column sort. Okay. Now, further, if I say I want to sort based on colors. Now, what do I mean by this? If I come to next sheet, there is a data. See, every record I have highlighted in different color. Some of them are in orange, some of them are in red, yellow, some of them are in green, and so on. So if I want to sort it based on colors now, so I say I want data with blue records at top, followed by green, then orange, and at last it should be yellow. So I need to sort it based on colors now. I don't worry about the value. It could be any value in the record. I want to sort it based on colors of column. Sorry, the colors of those records. How could I do that? So if you want to sort it based on colors, again, we click on data somewhere. Okay. And then there is an option, this sort button. You click on this sort option. And here, uh, see, you took, so it's asking sort by. It's showing various columns of your data. Now you can select any column. Why? Because for a particular record, all columns or all fields have the same color. So it doesn't make sense like uh, you can select any column and accordingly it will be referring to that record only. So here if I select order ID, of course, based on order ID is going to check the color and it should work for us because for that particular record, all fields has the same color. Okay. So order ID sort. So I'm saying, okay, sort on order ID, but not on values this time. I don't want to sort on values. Rather, I want to sort on color. Now, which color it is? It is fill color or cell color? Is it cell color or font color? Font is that text. Cell is that highlighted color, right? So I'll select cell color. Okay. Now, moment you select cell color here, it will populate various colors which are found on your data. So it has 4 colors there. So I said blue data at I want at top. So I'll select blue and then whether you want it on top or on bottom, you can choose here. So I'm selecting on top. Then I say add label. So then by what? So again, I'll go with order ID and on cell color only. So after blue, I said I want green data. So I'll select green here this time. So initially data was sorted on blue color. Later now it will be sorted on green and that will be placed on top after blue. Okay. I click on add label further. Here again order ID, again cell color, and this time, so of course only 2 color remains now. So those will be shown here. I mean orange and yellow. So I'll select orange on top and then remains is yellow, which will be coming at bottom. So we don't have to worry about that. It will be automatically coming below this data. After doing this, I click OK and see data got sorted accordingly. So initially you're getting records in blue, followed by green, then orange, and then lastly the yellow ones. Okay. So this is how you sort data based on colors. At the moment, I've shown you the fill color, but the same sequence could be same syntax or steps could be used for font color also. You just have to change the font color instead of cell color if it is a color applied on text of the data. Okay. Further, there is one more thing I would like to show in sort. If I come to next field, next sheet, sort on regions. Okay. So as such, when we sort data on regions, we saw sometime before that initially I'm going to get data for east, then north, then south, and lastly west. But when we talk about regions, how we call the regions? Like when if I say what are 4 regions we have, so generally in that case we say east, west, north, south. Okay. So if I want to follow that sequence, if I want to follow my custom sequence while sorting, how could I do that? So for that purpose, what we'll do is we'll go to, first of all, I'll click on data and then we'll go to sort option again. Here, sort on region this time. So I'll select region. Of course, east, west, north, so south are values. So I'll keep this as it is. But yeah, in order, instead of ascending or descending, I don't want ascending like east, north, and that sequence to follow. I want my own custom sequence, east, west, north, south. So there is an option here, custom list. You click on custom list. It will show me various predefined lists here, like list of month, weeks, and those lists are by default available. You can always create your own list. So here I'll say I want list of regions. So it could be east, then I'll say comma, west, comma, north, comma, south, east, west, north, south. I want to follow this sequence. I click on add. So that list got added here. Okay, that's my own custom sequence now, which I have defined. I click OK and I say OK. So let's see now if you see the region values. Initially, I'm getting data for east, Followed by that, I'm going to get data for west. Here it is. And then followed by that, north and south. Now, of course, here data is for east and you know uh, west only. But yeah, if the other records are there, of course, it will be sorted accordingly. Okay, so yeah, it if we have concluded that it's following my own custom sequence. Otherwise, I would have got data for north in this case. Okay, so that is how to sort data based on regions in my custom sequence. That is what we see. Okay, coming to next topic, which is filters. What is filtering data in Excel? From the given data, if I want to pull data for my required category. For example, if I have data for all products here and I say I want to get data for carrot only or maybe choco chips, how could we do that? So click on data. In data tab itself, besides sort, there's an option called filters. We click on filter option. Okay, and then here we select carrot. Okay, if I click OK, you'll get data for carrot. Okay, and further, along with carrots, if I say I want to get data for choco chips also. Okay, I'll click chocolate chips, click OK, and you get data for carrot as well as chocolate chips. So this way, you can filter your data as per your requirements. If I want to get my entire data back the way it was, so how could I do that? Just clear the filters. As in, you click on clear here, and your filters, what you applied, will be cleared. Okay. Now, if I say I want to get data for all those products where name of that product begins with A. So I can click on this filter, and then there's an option called text filters. There's an option called begins with, ends with, contains, doesn't contains, and so on. You can choose the one which you want to go with. So at the moment, we are looking for products starting with letter A. So we say begins with, and I'm going to put here a letter A, and then followed by that, I'll click OK. So you'll see that it's showing me all the products where the name of product begins with letter A. Okay, so again, something on filters, the custom filters I shown you. If I want to clear the filters, I click clear, and data will be taken to the step what was it before. Okay, now if I say I want to filter data based on what I can say, unit price. If a unit price is less than 2, only those records should be shown to me. So I click on unit price this time, and then we have option of number filters, where we have further options like less than, greater than, between, and so on. In fact, above average, below average, and all those options are also available. So if I say less than, so I said products where unit price is less than equal to 2. Okay, up to 2, I could say. So less than or equal to, I can select. Okay, and I can put here 2. I say okay, and you get data for such products. Okay, I'll clear the filters again, and yeah, you got the data back the way it was expected. Now, if I say I want to get data for all those products, all those orders which were given in January month, I'm talking about January month. So I click on date filters this time. Okay. Now here, what you can do is you can expand this and select January. So basically, when you are talking about filters on date values, it will show list of years first, and then from the respective year you can select the months as such. Okay, so I'm saying I want to get data for January. So from 2023 I selected Jan, and from 2002 also I'm going to select Jan, and if I click OK, you'll get data for the respective month. But then now just imagine if there are many years. Okay, here there were only 2. If there are many, 4 to 5 years. So for every year, you'll have to go there and select January of the respective year. Okay, something difficult. So what you can do is, I'll first of all remove the filters, and let's try doing it again. So I want to get data for January regardless of year. For all years, January's data I want. So click on this drop down. There is an option called date filters inside this. And in date filters, there's an option called all dates in period. and in that you get a list of months as well as quarter. You can get data for the respective months across years, of course, for all years, as well as for quarters. Q1, Q2, Q3. This follows the year quarter, like January to March is the first quarter, April to April, May, June, the second quarter, and accordingly it follows. So you can choose the quarter, or you can choose the year. So I said I want to get data for January for all years. I select Jan, and see, you're getting data for Jan of all years. Little bit quicker, right? So if you have many years, instead of selecting the month of all years individually, you can use this option. If I clear the filters, again, I'm going to get data back the way it was. All right. So these are various options that we have in filters. Now remember, whatever filters we are using, that's called as auto filters. Okay. Now, if you want to understand advanced filters, there's concept of advanced filters also. First of all, we'll see why it is required, and why can't I do it with these simple filters. So these filters, what I have applied here, is called as auto filters. Okay. Now, some of the things could not be possible with the help of auto filters. That's why we need advanced filters. Let's understand why. Okay. So what I need to do is, you know, first of all, I'm setting up some conditions so that for that condition we'll try to filter data. Okay, so I want to filter data for region field. I'll put that condition here. Okay, region, and here I'll mention category. Okay, so we took two columns here, region and category. So I say that I want to get data for East, okay, and category bars. How could I get this data? It's very simple. You just go to region field and select here East, you know, and for bars you will get data. You just select bars here, say okay, and you will get data for that respective region, meaning East bars. Okay, if I clear the filters, I'm going to get my data back. Now, next step. If I say I want to get data for East, but for bar category, and for West, I should get data only for cookies category. Meaning, I'll put this here, West, and category will be cookies in this case. Remember, I want data only for East and bars, as well as West and cookies, no other data. So what's going to happen? How could I get this data in this case? If I select region and if I select East and West, which is by default selected, but if I go to categories and if I select bars and cookies, you know what will happen? I'm going to get data for East bars as well as East cookie, as well West bars as well as West, which I don't want. I want only data for East and bars. I don't want West bars. And I want data for West cookies. I don't want East cookies. Okay. So this is an issue with simple filters, uh, and in that case we have to go for advanced filters. Okay, this is limitation of simple filters. So how could we do that? Of course, I can create the same criteria here to show advanced filters, or I can show it here itself. It's okay, I'll show here. So how could we apply advanced filters? We remove the normal filters, which we call them as auto filters. So I have removed that auto filters. Now I can say this is my data and this is my criteria condition I want to filter, right? Now what I'll do is, okay, uh, I click on data for somewhere, okay, and then there's an option called advanced besides the filter. This is advanced filters. We click on that button. So when we hover, when we took a pointer on that, see what came there. Options for filtering using complex criteria. Okay, so of course it's very easy, straightforward, but then how to use it, that is also to be required to because unless creating this criteria, you will not be able to use it. So that is something you should be aware of. So how to apply that? Let's understand. We click on data somewhere, go to advanced button. Okay, it gets to this advanced filter box. Now by default your data is selected. See, list range, which is your data that got selected by default because we clicked on data and then went to that option. Criteria range, we click on this box and select the criteria that which we have defined. So we select this criteria. Okay. And now if I click OK, so here there are two options. Filter the list in place, meaning data will be filtered here itself. Okay. But say suppose on this data, if there are certain pivots created or some other formulas defined, so those formulas and pivots will be affected since I'm going to filter the data here. If you don't want to disturb that, those pivots or maybe some formulas, so what you can do is you may want to extract the filter data and populate it here somewhere. And for that purpose, there's an option called copy to another location. We click on that. There's an option here, copy to. We click on this box and we set the location where we want to start pasting data. Say, suppose if I choose that location as this cell. And then we click OK. Okay. Now, again, before we're getting into that, there's an option unique records only. Could be possible that there are multiple records with the same entries. You may not want to have multiple records with same entries, so you may want to avoid duplications. So in this case, there's nothing like that. All records are unique because we have ordered, which is unique value for all records. But sometimes it could be possible that you don't have unique values. Records could be duplicated. So in that case, you will have to select this option. At the moment, I'm not selecting it because we don't have such kind of duplications. Well, we click OK and you'll see data got populated here. And in this, we are getting data for East, where bar category is there. We don't have East and cookies, as well as we are getting data for West, where cookies category is there, and we are not having East cookies in this case. So it is pure required data that we were expecting. Now, in this case, this criteria could be as big as possible. You may want to check for unit price and then you say less than, greater than, that also could be possible. Okay, so this could be as big. You may apply filters like this on multiple columns. Okay, and it's going to work. So this makes filters much easy, right? Your condition could be as complex as possible and you'll be able to apply the filters in one go. Otherwise, if you don't apply it, if you want to go with the basic filters, auto filters, so you'll have to filter data for these two values first and then save it somewhere and again go for these two and then save it. That will have to continue. And but then in case you have multiple conditions, that becomes difficult job and this solves that problem. Okay, so that's the concept of advanced filters in Excel. Coming to next, which is conditional formatting. We have a data here and we'll try to understand what is conditional formatting. Uh, Especially when you create dashboards uh, or deck and based on conditions, your colors or formats, if you want to change, in such cases, conditional formatting is used. Okay. For example, I can say that if a quantity of the respective order is more than 50, I want that quantity to be shown in green color. And if the quantity is less than 50, I want it to be shown in red color, something like that. Okay, how could I do this? Okay, first let's go step by step. First, I'll take only one single condition. If a quantity is greater than, less than 50, I want it in green color. Okay, how could I do that? Let's select the quantity data. So I'll click on the first record here, first value, and then select the whole value below. So Control Shift down. Okay, the values are selected, and then we have Home tab. We'll have to go to Home tab. In Home tab, there's an option called Conditional Formatting. We click on Conditional Formatting, and then in this, I want to highlight the values, right? So highlight cell rules, and then what I said, if a value is less than 50, it should be in green. So less than, okay, and we just put the condition I want to check for. So I will put here 50. And then these are some of the predefined formats like green fill with green, dark green text you can choose, or yellow. We have some predefined formats like this. But if you say you want to customize that, you don't want background color, meaning fill color. You want only the text color to be changed to green. So you can customize it. You can go to custom formats and choose your own formats. Okay, so in this case, whether fill color or font color, you can choose. So I want to go for font color, let's say. In font color, then here I can select green. You may want to make it bold also. Say okay, and see the values are changed in respect to color. Wherever values are less than 50, you are finding them in green. So that came the first condition. Second condition was if it is more than 50, I want it to be in red. How could we do that? So first condition is already applied. We go for second condition. So again, we select this data, go to conditional formatting. Okay. Highlight cell rules greater than this time. Okay. And we'll put here 50. Okay. And here we select the respective condition. So, no, sorry, format. So if I say I want to show it in red, so you choose red color, say okay, and the respective format is applied. So tomorrow any color changes, like this value which is in red 82, that becomes 30. Okay. See, automatically color changes for that. And that's your conditional formatting. Basis on condition, if that condition satisfies, the formatting gets applied to it. Okay. The concept of conditional formatting. Now you may want to change the condition, like, or you may want to change the color. Okay, after applying it, if you feel that you want to change the condition, instead of 50, you want to go for 40. Okay, so how could we do that? Go to click on the data again, go to conditional formatting, and then there's an option called manage rules. We already have created two rules, right? One is for less than 15 and other one is greater than 50. So there's an option manage rules. In that, here you have to select current worksheet, that is this worksheet, and it will show you all the rules that are created on current worksheet. You can select the one that you want to modify, say edit rule, and change your condition, greater than, less than, or value if you want to change. Okay, or format also you can change. So this way you can change the conditional formatting which are applied. And if you want to remove the conditional formatting, if you want to remove this condition, I want to keep only one, so click on the respective condition. Okay, there's an option called delete rule, say okay, and you saw the first rule what was there, it got removed, only one rule remains now. So that is how your conditional formatting works. Okay, so you may have a dashboard where some progress is shown, okay, on one value, and if it becomes more than something, you want it to be green. If it is less than something, you may want to have it in red. So in such cases, we use conditional formatting. So here I have used on multiple cells, like I selected all values. In that case, we'll be selecting only one value which you want to apply the formatting on. Okay, so that's how your conditional formatting works. Secondly, if I say I want to highlight the unit price, how? If they are if they are above average, some other color, and if it is less than average, something in different color. How could we do this? So select the data again from first record till last record. All the values are selected for that field, and then conditional formatting. Okay. Now, so I said my requirement was like above average and below average. So there's an option called top and below rules, top and bottom rules. In this, you'll get top 10 items. Like if I want to highlight the records with top values of the unit price, top 10, top 5. Okay, those options are available. You can choose your top 10 instead of 10. You can put 5 also and change the color of apply the format, and that will be highlighted in the respective formats. Okay, but then yeah, our requirement was something different. We said we want to highlight it for above average. So here is the option above average available. Okay, you can choose the color. So at the moment I'm saying I want to highlight them in red. So let it be red. Click OK, and you see all. So what it's going to do? It's going to get the average of all the records for this particular column, unit price, and if then it will check whether value is more than that average. If it is more than average, it's going to highlight. Okay, so above average, below average, you can apply that. If you want to clear the rules, you can clear from here also. All the rules on this sheet if you want to clear in one go. Okay, so conditional formatting, clear rules, and clear rules from entire sheet. And that's removed. If you want to remove, if you have multiple rules applied, if you want to remove one by one or one of the other rules, so you can go to that manage rule option I shown you sometime before, and then you can remove the required rule. And if you want to remove all of them, then clear rules and clear rules from entire sheet should be used. Okay, so this is how your conditional formatting is. helpful. There are a few more things I would like to show here in conditional formatting. So suppose if you want to highlight the quantity. Okay, so suppose if this quantity is so if you see here, the values are starting from like 33, 30 is also there, 150 is also there. So based on value, I want to apply, color fill in this column. How could I do that? So there is an option. If I select the values of that, there's an option here, data bars. Okay, you can choose any color, and you'll see that according to value, the the color is getting filled in that. Okay, so if this value becomes 200, okay, it will be filled further. Okay, if it becomes 400, it will be fully filled. Okay, and if it becomes 40, it it is reducing. So based on color, it's getting changed. So again, if you are showing some progress of some process, and based on color you want to highlight, based on value you want to apply the color like this, fill of that color. In that case, this data bars will be useful. So here by default, in current case, what it did is it took the lowest value in this column and the largest value, and accordingly it's filling this, the bars. So if you want them that to be customized, you want to go for zero and largest value. Or so what you can do is there's an option for data bars. In that you go for more rules, and then here you can customize it. Okay, so I can change the color if I want to. Okay, what kind of fill, whether solid fill or gradient fill, that you can choose. Okay, and then how the data will be filled, that color to be filled based on what. So minimum, so currently it is taking its own value, minimum and maximum. Like I said, minimum value it's going to take, largest value it's going to take, and accordingly it's going to fill. But if I say I want to start from 0 till 500, I want to set my own range. So here you can select lowest value, or rather I can put here number, and here I can put 0. Here also I can put number, and here I can put 500. So now according to my change, limits, like it's starting from 0. So for 0 it will be empty, for 100 it will be a little bit filled, and maximum value is 500 I said. So if it is 500, it will be fully filled. So this is how you can customize your limits for filling that color. Now similarly, there was an option of data bars. So suppose on unit price I want to apply data bars, there's an option of data bars here. Sorry, color scales. So you can select any of the color scales, and those colors will be applied. Of course, multiple colors are there. Now by default, it again goes as per value, lowest value, largest value, and accordingly, it applies the colors. You may want to customize this again. So you have to go to, after selecting this data, you'll have to go to this more rules option, and here then we have an option like whether it will be two color scales, three color scales. Like here we are getting multiple colors that you have to select here. If I'm saying two color scales, so you'll be having two colors. Okay, shading will be there accordingly, and then you can select here number as lowest and largest value, and then you can put your numbers like 0 and here 500. So according to the value, the shading will happen on that number. See, lowest value will be dark in this color, largest value will be dark in the other color. Okay, so shading will happen as per that. So why it's remaining, yeah, orange is because I gave a shading as 0 to um, 5, 0 to 500. So all these numbers are near to 0 if I talk about this range, and that's why it's coming to be orange. If I make this 3 or maybe 5, so right from 0 till 5, now the colors will be applicable, and see, you'll find the effect of that here now. Near to the 5, it will become towards yellow. Near to the 0, it becomes orange. So if this becomes 4.5, you'll find it became a little bit on the yellow side. So this way, the color changes based on values. Okay, the concept of color sets. We do have icons also. Okay, so maybe like if unit price is more than you know 3, I want icon to be shown as up. If it is less than 3, I want to show it as down along with these values. How could I do that? Let's see. We select the range again. Okay, right from first record till last. We go to conditional formatting. There's an option called icon sets. See, we have an options here. So I can click on various icons. Lot many icons are there. Or I can go to more rules and I can choose my own icon. At the moment, I said I want up and down to be applied. So maybe side also if you want to. So I can click on this. Okay, so we selected the icons. So I said that if the value is more than, sorry, if it is less than 2, I want it to be up. Okay, or if a value is more than 3, if the cost is more, I want it up. So I can say 3, it should be up. But remember here, it's not percent, it should be a value. Okay. Um, so it says now that, okay, if the number in that cell is greater than 3, then it should be green. Okay. And for this, I'm not going to do anything. So exactly for 3, it will be this. I'll set here number again. Okay. So exactly 3, it will be this. And for less than 3, it will be red. You click OK, and you'll see that the icons comes there as per the value. So tomorrow, if this value becomes, uh, say 4, it shows up. Tomorrow, if this value becomes 1, it shows down. Okay, so according to the value, the icons are shown. This is again part of conditional formatting. And all the things what you see now are the ones which we use while creating dashboards. We do have something called formulas that I can use in conditional formatting. I would like to show that here. Okay, so we have order IDs here, and whatever order IDs are present here, I want to highlight them here. Okay, so suppose how do we do this? So what we do is, see, I said these values to be checked here, and wherever the value is found, the respective record to be highlighted. In previous example, we saw when we selected the column like this or this, whenever we are selecting a column, it's highlighting that column. But now I said I want to highlight the record. So of course, we'll have to select the entire data. We click on first cell. Remember, we'll exclude headers. Apart from headers, the first record, first value I'm selecting. Control Shift right and down. We selected the whole data. Okay. And then we to go to conditional formatting. In that, we say new rule. We'll have to write the formula for this. So new rule. Okay. Now let me get the headers here at top. Okay. New rule. And my condition will be what? I'm going to define a formula for that. What is that, I said these values to be looked here, and wherever the values are getting matched, the records to be highlighted. Because I want to highlight these records, I selected the data. So condition formatting will be applied on this data. But condition what to check, I'm going to apply here. Remember, formula in Excel begins with equal to, so I'm saying equal to. And we need to check whether these values starting from here, it's there in this list or not. Then second value, it's there in this list or not. Third value, there in this list or not. To compare the value, remember we have concept of VLOOKUP. Okay, let's apply VLOOKUP here. We'll say VLOOKUP. Okay, what are parameters of VLOOKUP? First becomes lookup value. So I need to check this value whether it's present in that right side table. Of course, this is a table of one single column. So, but then it's checking B2, $B$2. It's going to stick to this value. I don't want to stick to on that value. I want to come down one by one. So here I'll say $B2. Why $B2? It should be looking for value starting from here, B2, B3, B4, only on this column, but only on B. That's why dollar on B. but no, nothing on two. Why I'm removing the dollar from two? So that it becomes initially B2, then B3, B4, B5 for all records one by one it should continue. So dollar $B2 followed by that second parameter is what? Table array. So my table array will be this table, okay, comma. Third parameter is column number where it should compare with. So I want to compare that uh, order ID here, which is the only one column. So we'll put here one, column number one. And lastly, exact comparison. Okay, exact match. For exact match, we give 0 here, close the bracket, and we go here and select the format. So suppose I want to fill the records which matches this criteria with some color. Say okay, say okay, and the formats are applied to the respective records. So wherever the records are matching, those records are shown in the given color. The concept of conditional formatting, where we used a formula to compare the conditions or to compare the values, I could say. Okay, I hope this understood or this clears the concept of conditional formatting. And then followed by this, we have another topic, a small one, which is freeze, panes, and split. What is freeze panes? When I scroll down across the values or across the records in the table, you see that the header at top moves up. If I want to keep that header in front of me so that I can read what are these values, what are these values, I can get to know those field names. So in that case, how to maintain those field names at top? Okay. So what we do is there's an option called view. In view tab, there's an option called freeze panes, and then further freeze top row or freeze first column. Freeze top row as in top row will be freezed. First column means first column. If it is horizontal data or if I want to freeze this data and there are many records, when I move on right side, I want to maintain these dates as it is. So in that case, it will be used. At the moment, I'm using freeze top row. So my top row is freeze now. And now if I scroll down, my top row remains as it is. See? Okay. So that's the concept of freeze pins. Okay. And if I want to remove that, we click on unfreeze pins and that is unfreezed. Now I want to freeze the top row also and this first record also. So we click on the first, we click on this value so that the data on left of this and top of this will be freezed. We click here and then there's an option of freeze pins. Neither top row, neither first row column, but we say freeze pins. So whatever data is on top of it and on left of it will be freezed, something like this. When I drag the content down, the headers will be freezed, locked, and when I move on the right side, the first column will be freezed. Okay, so that's your freeze pins. If you want to remove, we can click on unfreeze pins and that freezing will be removed. Further, there's a concept of split also. What is split? See, if I click on center of first column somewhere here, and if I click on split, it adds a splitter here. Now it's not going to divide the data. We just get a splitter on the screen, as in this is the one view of data I'm getting, and this is another view of the data I'm getting. So if you want to compare this record, say record with order ID 10,007 with record with 10,060, let's say. So I can keep one record here, and here I'm going to get another view on same data. So I'll go to another record, say record number 10,060, and I can compare the values further. So because we're getting two views on same data, we can move to the respective records so that it becomes easy for us to compare the records as such. So this splits the screen, and we get multiple views on same data so that we can compare the values. Okay, so that's concept of split. So I hope you understood this. If you want to remove the split, we can click on the split again and that splitter will be removed. Okay, so these are the topics that we covered in this video. We started with sort, followed by we went to filters. We saw how to apply advanced filters. We saw the concept of conditional formatting. And lastly, we covered the concepts of freeze pins and split screens. Thank you for watching. So like I said earlier, I feel that this video is something very useful for everyone. If you understood all the topics and if you feel that this is something which is needed to be known by everyone, I request you to like this video, share it between your friends and family groups. Also, to keep in track of such kind of videos when I post in future, uh, I request you to subscribe to this channel so that you can get a notifications when I post similar videos in coming future. Hope you like this video. I Let's meet again in upcoming video. Thank you.